Hi, we're Group 3, and our program allows you to enter a major U.S. city by population, and it will return to you a list of animals that's supposed to be in a zoo within that city, given their biome. Our biome is determined by average rainfall and average temperature. So at the start of our program, we have all of our imported modules.
After importing our modules, the first thing that we did was create multiple lists of data based on a website that had the top 600 most commonly found animals in zoos in the country. Based on that, we categorized and differentiated these animals into the correct biome that they belong into that our program will later execute out to the user.
So after creating the animal lists, we create this function called getListOfMajorCities and scrape data from a website called InfoPlease, which has the list of top 50 cities. And from there, we create a Panda data frame that basically isolates the information that we need from the website.
After that, we create another function called City Weather. Using an API that we found on the web, World Weather Online, we followed the documentation very closely and wrote the code so that the city names that we created in the earlier function, getListOfMajorCity, were run through the API and the weather data was stored within each city. So the first thing we do is we create 3 empty lists for maximum temperatures, minimum temperatures, and rainfall, and we ran 2 for loops to go through the JSON file from the API and extract the data for those 3 variables. We set those 3 variables equal to 0 and then floated the numbers in from the data and divided the data by 12 to get the annual numbers, and then we appended those numbers to the end of the empty list that we created earlier. Once those lists were set up, we indexed them into our pandas and created 3 new columns that consisted of the data from the Weather API.
And after creating the 3 new columns for city data, we created a 4th column for biomes and basically ran a for loop to go through each major city and figure out, based off of our parameters of average temperature and average rainfall, which city the biome fits into.
Okay, so now let's run through the code. To clean this up and make it very easy for users to see this code, we set the dictionary index to cities and we return the cities. And now we have a nice clean panda that has our 51 city names, the average yearly minimum temperature, the average maximum temperature, the rainfall, and the biomes.
So going into the final part of our program, the user inputs a city, making sure that the spelling is correct, referring to our poster. And based on the user's input, it will either quit out of our program, or it will locate the city that the user input on our Panda data frame, and from the city, it will locate the biome, and from the biome that it locates, it will output the list of animals that we created earlier in our code.
All right, let's try it out. Ethan, give me a city.
Fresno, California.
And so there you go. You enter Fresno, California based on the spelling that is on the poster, and it says the biome for the city that you entered is grasslands. The following mammals live in the grasslands, and it gives you a list of mammals, then it gives you a list of reptiles, amphibians, and birds that live all in the grasslands biome. So Fresno is just one example of a city out of the top 50 cities in the United States, and after you've entered as many cities as you want to find out, you simply enter quit, and it thanks them for using our program.